Yes, man, one. Yeah, this movie is partly about Pastor Mannings, not Jennings, but Mannings. 5 years ago, I think. I mean, I used to make videos about. I'm on YouTube since since forever. So I've had videos about these guys also. Or these guys, this Pastor Manning. Do I have his picture? This pastor, man. Here is Manning. And oh yeah, I have to write it down. Maybe I don't know if it's a conspiracy. But all of a sudden, Pastor Manning, you can see here, his church was taken over by the LT community. You see? They took it over because he was, in those days, he was against Obama because then Obama was trying to sign a bill to make men to men. So he was trying to make Sodom and Gomorrah legal. Let's keep it at that. Sodom and Gomorrah, yeah, it's better to say that and then eliminate all those foolishness. So this guy was against Sodom and Gomorrah. So supposedly, I don't know if it's true. It could be a scam because after this happened, he was interviewed and he was accused. What is this guy's name? I forgot his name. Pac-Man or something. He has a channel, Secular Talk, and he and the Young Turks of Cenk Uygur and this they are Turkish people, but they like to speak on black people issues and all those things. The Young Turks and all those things, man. They are so-called liberal, progressive, or whatever. But anyways, progressive doesn't mean that it will get better. You could have a disease that is progressive and you die early. So all these things, we are progressive, progressing to where? To death. Change does not mean that something gets better. Change does not mean that something will get better. It might change for the worst. Just saying. That's the ability of thinking, I would say. So you see over there, Pastor Manning attacks the Young Turks. Anti-gay pastor may lose church to LT, blah blah. Pastor Manning throws epic tantrum at protesters, dung eaters, or whatever. But let me. It's like a. I don't know if it's a conspiracy against him, what happened then. But it was strange. Let me write it down. Conspiracy or not. Yeah. I'll write it down here. Conspiracy or not. Because all of a sudden he was caught with a 18-year-old girl, man. I made the video because I was making exposing videos in those days. And this was 8 years ago. The video I made was like 5 years ago also. So all of a sudden, nobody could believe it really because everybody saw this pastor as a wilding out pastor. He used to cuss everybody out, man. Black people mostly was cussing out that they were nothing because they not working hard enough to make it. They should not blame Caucasian for their problem. That's this pastor, man. Many black people used to hate this guy for real. Back 10 years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, everybody black on internet, like me and those guys, Israelites, they used to hate this guy because he would come out and cuss out black people all over the place, man. But all of a sudden, they attacked them, they used black people, and that's why I'm making this video also. They will always use black people to fight their own fight. It's just like the slavery happened, and the same slaveholders are now with liberty movement. The NAACP is of the slaveholders, if you didn't know. NAACP was created by your slaveholders of North America and South America and Africa. Yes. It was not created by black people. Many black people think NAACP and all those things are created by black people. No, they are created by your slave master. Yeah, by German people who and Dutch people, man. That's how the perpetrator becomes the victim. Because those are the same people who use this against black people. That's why they came with this LT while they self are LT. Understand that. To me, what you're doing in your bedroom is not my business. I don't recognize that. What you have between your ears, what you believe in this religion or that religion, you can change it up every day, so or any day. So I don't recognize that. Especially since nobody recognizes my people as being human. So it would be ill and stupid for me to recognize anybody as being human, while they don't recognize my people as being human. In Suriname, my people are not allowed to own their own land, while the the international court said tribal people and Native Americans should get their own land in Suriname because they already have it. They are autonomous, but the government won't recognize it. Like everywhere with black people, because black people are not regarded to be human by other people. Maybe they don't, I've come to see that black people don't understand that, especially the plantation Negroes. They don't understand that everybody hates them. They will use them to fight their own fight and then toss them aside. Just like the immigrants in America right now. They all use the black civil rights to come in America and use everything. And I know speaking on Caribbean, they have the right because they are American. Caribbean people are American. America is North and South America, and Haiti is America. There's where Columbus went. If Columbus discovered America, he was in Haiti, Española. If you didn't know, go back and look. America is just like Europe, north south. To me, yeah, let's leave it at that. But anyways, this pastor man, he got caught up into all this. I don't know, man, what really happened in the background. But he was caught with a 18-year-old man, and I have the video also, because I made the videos on one of my old channels, so I will play that video also. But before I play that video, I will have you listen to one of his so-called YouTube enemies, man. One of his YouTube enemies, besides the Young Turks, was a secular Turk, some guy, Pac-Man. I don't know what his name really is, but whatever, man. Let's go and see this. Watagwan. Let's see it, blah, blah. So let's see it, man. Boom. Here, so this guy, secular talk. So let's listen to what he's been saying. Because he was against, that was like 8 years, 10 years ago. This pastor was on YouTube saying Obama is ruining, he is, he's not good for America because the laws he was passing was against the norms of black people, really. Because African black people don't deal with sodomy and Sodom and Gomorrah. We don't. We have our own religion and our own God. The God of Europe is Krampus, Yule, and Druids and all those things, not Jesus. At least not that I know of. That's why they got Black Pete and Blackface, Mantan, and all those things. It's their God. If you didn't know, Santa is their God. Unless you perceive Santa as being Jesus, then yeah, man. But anyways, let's listen to this YouTube enemy of Pastor Mannings, man, because he got caught with he was 54 years old or so when he got caught with a 18-year-old. And I'm showing this because there is many fake pastors out there. I've been showing you videos about pastors and all those things about the Bible, but 70% of all people on the planet are evil. That's the two-thirds in the Bible. It's also in my culture, in Maroon, my tribe culture, my tribal culture. You have that also. That if you sin, you will go away. If you lie, you die. That's why when you lie, you cover up, and when you lie in your grave, you are covered up by a casket. Dimensional. That's why when I speak, I don't speak carnally. I don't speak bodily stuff like your world stuff. I speak in dimensional, in my culture style. I speak. If you can't understand it, just yeah, man, just leave it at that. So let's listen to this guy speaking on Pastor Manning, man. And this is also let no let me let's hear it. Fair use video review, man. Dutch translation, educational purpose.
Now, we already know, we covered the story. The Young Turks, the main channel, they did an interview with David Manning, and Cenk and Anna got him to admit, like, oh, yes, I've been tempted, for sure. I was in jail. When I was in jail, I was tempted to fuck men. I was very interested in it, but I didn't give in to that temptation. But I felt it. Oh, it was there. I felt it. It was so strong. No, the guy doesn't get it. Like, dude, that means you're gay. That means you're at least bisexual.
And I'm showing you this because this what he's talking about is supposed to be normal, but he's using it to insult people. Do you understand that? These so-called Sodom and Gomorrah people will use their status to insult straight hetero people, just like he's doing right now. Because the pastor said, no, that is forbidden according to the Bible, it's not allowed. And now this guy is coming out saying, you was tempted to be like those you are condemning. So he's using the status of the ones the pastor is condemning to attack the pastor like you one of them. If it was normal, you wouldn't do that. If I say, I don't like the president, and you would come to me and say, you are the president. Do you understand? Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that. If I say I don't like the king, nobody will come and say, because you are the king. But they are doing this. They are using this Sodom and Gomorrah to tell the pastor, you are Sodom and Gomorrah also. Do you understand? Because it's not natural to black people. We have our own culture if you didn't know. These crazies think they will have slavery and leave those same laws in place. Mind you, they didn't take away any of the slavery law. They just left it in place and went to Europe and still using the same system to oppress black people. So whether this guy is saying truth or not truth, I'm not showing you this video because of that. I'm showing you that they will use the Sodom and Gomorrah statement to insult normal people that we consider to be normal. In our society, this is an abomination. It's in your Bible if it was yours. These people claim that Jesus is a white man in the Bible and he said this is not allowed and they still doing it. So we have to draw the conclusion that Jesus is not your God. Because things of God, the Most High, never change. Unless they don't understand the Bible. Maybe that's why black people was not allowed to read for 400 years. Because maybe they had more brain to understand what was written than these guys had. Because the writings, yes, I have my writings right here. Afaka. Because before one of these guys come, yeah, but black people, no, you can't tell the story of black people. We don't know you. These people will try to come and central themselves into black people's space. Hip-hop was forbidden till they could make money off it. Just saying. So now he's blaming the pastor that you are like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why you are against it. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's real deep reasoning. So he's more on the path of insult than speaking the truth. Let me take this picture immediately for my flyer, man. I'll place this one on the flyer also. Bam. Boom. You see? So he's using the same so-called right they are fighting for to attack black people. That's why they came up with this. If you are Sodom and Gomorrah, I don't care. You still killed the black people in slavery. Do you understand that? Many of the pastors who are in Suriname raping little boys are Sodom and Gomorrah. Now they come down and write, yeah, you're not supposed. We don't care. We don't know you. What anybody is doing in their bedroom is their business. Your stuff is not comparable with what you have done to black people. When I walk outside, everybody can see I'm a black man. Nobody know if you are Sodom and Gomorrah or if you are Buddhist or if you are Islam or Christian or Hindu or whatever. You can change that up any day. Black people are black. They are killed by your people because they are black. And if you say you didn't take part in it, you shouldn't be blamed for the history of your forefathers. Give back the land, give back the gold, and wake up all the babies your forefathers have killed. Wake up the babies your forefather has killed, man. Just saying. Till then, yeah. Fair use video review. Let's see it. Let's hear it. So I'm not taking it up for. I'm not fighting for the pastor here because the pastor hates black people also in his own way. He doesn't hate black people, but he thinks it's tough love. That's what the pastor is thinking that he's doing. But whatever, man. Nobody agrees with his style. At least not black people I know of. Let's hear it. Fair use video review. Let's hear how this guy is gonna try to insult the pastor with an Sodom and Gomorrah status.
Okay, that's bisexual. Bisexual. No, the guy doesn't get it. Like, dude, that means you're gay. It's so strong to that temptation. But I felt it. I was very interested in it, but been tempted for sure. I was the Young Turks, the main channel. They did an interview with David Manning, and Cenk and Anna got him to admit, like, oh yes, I've been tempted for sure. I was in jail. When I was in jail, I was tempted to fuck men. I was very interested in it, but I didn't give in to that temptation. But I felt it. Oh, it was there. I felt it. It was so strong. No, the guy doesn't get it. Like, dude, that means you're gay. That means you're at least bisexual. Okay, that is what it means. Maybe you're physically, sexually attracted to women as well. That would mean you're bisexual. But if you're attracted to men in any way, shape, or form in a sexual way, and you admitted it, that means you're at least bisexual or you're just gay. But he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. See, that's why he's so
He doesn't get it because it's your culture. All these things you're saying bisexual, that's your wording in your culture. It doesn't mean he's dead. It's you saying that he's dead, just like your forefathers said that black people are nothing. If what you're saying is true, then what your forefathers was saying about Native Americans should be killed, black people should be killed, KKK, all that is also true. Because your people is saying it. Your culture is not our culture. Understand that we have our own God. You stole everything from us, not the other way around. Slavery done, black people are lazy, when black people are the ones who worked for 400 years. Black people are the thief, but you stole our country and every land and every gold and everything and acting like you're rich and that black people are poor. Very smart. Yeah, very big intelligence you people are, man. Just saying. So I'm gonna leave this at that. If you wanna go and watch this video, you can go and watch it. It's here at Secular Talk. It's a video of 8 years ago, but I'm showing you Watagwan. Let's go to the pastor. They took away his church, man. But the same pastor, he was caught with a little girl. This is my own video, or this is one of my old channel. So I'm gonna have you. No, let's not listen to that one yet. Let's go to these days, a year ago, cause they took everything from him after they caught him with the 18-year-old girl or whatever. It was legal, but still, it was a shame. Let's see him protesting these days a year ago.
Crying out, righteousness. I'm here because I am a roaring lion, crying out, righteousness. Usually I try to make my statements. I'm here because I am a roaring lion, crying out, righteousness. Usually I try to make my statements of a certainty. I'm not sure that the executives, the leaders of this institution, that they're just hoping that nobody will pay attention to us. Imagine that. Sitting there in their ivory tower, praying, hoping, I know they're praying, that nobody will pay attention to this protest and that the church will be shut down, hoping that they can sneak and get away with stuff they've been getting away with for years. For they feel, if the city, if decent people pay attention to the fact that school is being shut down by this blood-sucking organization, if they find out that a homeless shelter for 40 years is being shut down, we, a community charitable organization, serve the city of New York more than any amount of money that they say we owe them. But imagine the hearts of people sitting in this ugly-ass building. Pardon me, in case you think that's cussing, but ass is in the Bible. Sitting in this ugly building, hoping that we'll go away. Hoping and praying that nobody will pay attention. Hoping and praying that their stocks don't decline. Hoping and praying that somebody will see us out here with our black faces and say, well, it's good enough for them. They don't deserve justice. They don't deserve to have a school. Shut that church down. Shut that homeless shelter down. That's what they are. Imagine what's in the heart of someone who has that kind of spirit. Imagine what happens when a person descends into the pit when they see these children and they haven't come to help them. Nobody's come there. One of these kids out of the building has asked, is there anything can be done? So we need to understand on this micro, if you will, where we are as a church fighting this monster because of the absence of the application of the rule of law, the action of constitutional rights, and people who take the laws and dismiss them as if they do not apply to them. Well, we see it happening in America now, big time. I got news for you. There'll be no going back. As Esther said the other day, the genie is out the bottle, and there'll be no going back. But I can say this as well, that we are on the Lord's side. Now, you may have seen a lot of protests, seen a whole lot of people with famous names, Nobel Prize winners, and all that crowd. But you might be mindful enough philosophically, spiritually, biblically to know that not one of these persons with the Nobel Prize, with all of their fame and all of the things that have been attributed to them, not one of them ever came in the name of the Lord. Not one came in the name of Jesus. Some came in the name of Mahatma Gandhi. Some came in the name of Malcolm or Muhammad the Prophet. But not one on behalf of poor people have stood up in this nation on behalf and in the name of Jesus.
So you can see here they took his church, the Sodom and Gomorrah people, man. They took his church. They said he had to pay. I don't know how much money he had to pay or whatever. So they took his church, man. And whatever, I don't mind about them taking his church or whatever. I'm just showing you what's out there. The same people he was fighting for. He was fighting against black people for these people, and they took his church. Just saying. Various video review, and let's listen again to this secular guy. And yeah, let's hear it, man. I'm just showing you Watagwan.
The always hilarious conservative Christian host, Pastor David Manning, has a dire warning for gay people or people. The always hilarious conservative Christian host, Pastor David Manning, has a dire warning for gay people or people thinking about being gay.
I want to ask you if you have ever been injected with the sodomite demon. Have you ever had that demon injected in you? Now, I tell women, I preach this all the time in our church, I say, you know, if you have sexual intercourse with a man and he plants his semen inside of you, that semen, whether it makes you pregnant or not, enters into your blood system. Your womb is a place for the receptacle, and it goes into your blood system. And whatever he has in his blood is in your blood. And for instance, if he has a disease in his blood through his semen, and the semen is the cream of the blood. Semen is produced by the blood. It is the cream. It is the power. It is the cream of blood. That's just no other way to say it. It isn't blood itself. It is even more powerful than blood. It can actually produce life, semen. But if a man puts his semen in you, I teach women that, and if it's disease, you're going to get that disease. You're going to, whatever that is, whether it's AIDS or syphilis or one of these other diseases, you're going to get it because it's going to go right into your blood system, right through your vagina, right through your womb. If a man injects himself in you, if a man injects himself in another man and injects his semen into him and he's crazy, then that's going to get in his blood as well. And if demons are in him, then those demons, you're going to get penetrated by demons. You're going to get penetrated by demons. You know, even the kissing of someone who has demons in their blood, that saliva can give you a disease. I posted up on our announcement board that sodomy is metastasized here in Harlem, and people in restaurants and out on dates need to be very, very careful. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying this to say to you, perhaps you first got introduced to these demons in your life, sodomy, when you had no defense.
And you couldn't help it. You saw that there was a good-looking man, and you said to yourself, oh, I bet he's got some nice semen demons. I'd like to see the semen demon squirt out of his head of his penis like this. Oh, God, you're so sad, David Manning. You're so sad. No, did you catch it at the very beginning?
But not David Manning is sad. He's stating what is in the Bible. I thought Caucasian gave black people the Bible, they said. I thought Caucasian taught black people what the Bible was. And to believe what Jesus said. And now that black people is so-called believing what the Bible said, it's wrong also. Now they changed that up and came with Sodom and Gomorrah. Straight out of the Bible. Forbidden in the so-called Bible. If you didn't believe in the Bible, you would be killed in Suriname and in America and Africa. You know that, right? In the slave days, if you did not believe in the Bible, you would be killed. And now that black people is reciting the Bible, yo, the Bible you gave us says this is forbidden. No, you are stupid. You don't believe. This is not good. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just showing you what's out there. I'm not saying who's wrong or right. That's their business. I'm just showing you the way they do these things, man. Let's jump to another video quick. Also with Pastor Manning, but this time he was with this guy, man, Lord Jamar. Let's hear it. For various video review, they was at DJ Flat hip hop channel, and DJ Flat is also one of the Slaveholders' children, man. Just saying. But now he's benefiting off hip hop. Yeah. Sad life black people have, man. Let's hear it. Fair use video review.
You gotta understand, we live in a microwave. Nobody wants to do the most they can do.
I'm not sure.
Nobody wants to do the most work
I
they can do. Do you ever they can do? To do the least you can do is the thing. Like, nobody wants to do the most they can do.
I'm not sure.
Nobody wants to do the most work they can do. Do you ever microwave a meal?
No, we don't have a microwave in our house.
Good for you.
I don't have one.
But you got to understand, we live in a microwave society where people would rather put their food in the microwave because it's easier, it's quicker, but they'll risk getting cancer or whatever comes out of that radiation of the microwave
Not me.
than taking the time, which is the harder thing to do, the slower thing to do, to put it in the oven.
I understand.
You know, I barbecue. I use charcoal grill. All these people in my neighborhood got the gas grills because you could just turn them on. You know what I mean? I have the patience to wait for the charcoal.
I think it tastes better, quite frankly.
It does taste better. But we live in a society where everything is wanted now, and discipline, the kind of discipline that's needed.
That's the problem.
For
No
people
discipline.
to advance
No discipline.
as a whole is null and void.
Doesn't
And
exist.
this brings me back to the homosexual agenda, because all that is succumbing to your weakest self, lack of discipline. There's plenty of things that people want to do in their minds, but they don't do it. You might
I thought about it myself.
thought about choking to death many people through your life.
I have.
But you didn't do it.
I haven't.
You didn't succumb to that, and you can't say, "Oh, just because I thought about choking people, you know, I'm a murderer, like I'm a choker, you know, like.
So that's Lord Jamar giving his opinion and all this Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. This was 8 years ago also, man. Was way back. I'm showing you what Agwan then and what happened. That's why this Pastor Manning, he was mad at Obama. At least that's what he's saying. We don't know if it was real or just faking it. But anyways, man, let's leave it at that. I'm gonna jump to another pastor in those days, 8 years ago also, who spoke out against all this what is happening about Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. Let's see it, man. You don't have to agree or disagree. I'm just showing you what's out there and what happened.
Yesterday, we had a historical thing that happened in the city of Birmingham. They call it historical, you know, made history and all that kind of Fifth Avenue North. On yesterday, we had a historical thing that happened in the city of Birmingham. They call it historical, you know, made history and all that kind of stuff. But I'm here this morning to talk about another history. To me, yesterday was one of the most bizarre scenes I ever seen in this city. One of the most comedic scenes I ever witnessed in public. When I witnessed men with size 13, 14 shoes out there kissing each other in the mouth in front of little kids. It was just bizarre. It was like a freak scene going on. That's what I call it. Now, I know about the government
And I'm showing you this because in the Netherlands it's forbidden for a man and a woman to dance too close on the carnival party in Rotterdam. It's now forbidden for black people, for Surinamese people, and Antillean people, and to dance too close with each other if you are a man and a woman, because children are not supposed to see it. But this day doing this Sodom and Gomorrah, everybody should see it. While it's forbidden for some people, at least if you wanna do your stuff, why won't you respect other people's space? If you're looking for so-called respect, if you're looking for respect, why would you violate other people's respect? People don't want to see it. They don't want to know what you're doing in your bedroom. We don't know if it's true. It's you saying it. We don't know if you're lying. If you say you believe in Jesus, nobody knows if you're lying because there is no way to verify it. If you say you believe in Allah, nobody knows if it's true because it's you, a liar, born liar, saying it, because they say every man is a liar. If every man is a liar and you should trust no one, why would you even trust the one telling you that you should trust no one? These people telling you they do these things in the bedroom, do you know if it's real? I don't want to know, and you cannot verify it. They are saying it. It's just the same like I'm Jewish, I'm Christian, I'm Islam, I'm Buddha, I'm a Protestant, I'm Christian, I'm a Catholic. All those things are interchangeable every day. A black man is still a black man anywhere he goes. That's the difference. A black woman is a black woman anywhere they go. A black child is a black child anywhere they go. Nobody knows what or who or whatever you are. Just saying. Do not kid yourself. Me and my people, we have no time for foolishness, for people who killed my people and then think they're gonna approach us with their foolishness, Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. Keep it to your family. You are a murderer of my people. I understand that y'all don't understand. Because if you understood anything, you wouldn't have killed all those babies, fed them to alligators for 400 years, not 40 days, not 40 years, 400 years. According to you, according to me, it's 1200 years, starting from Black Pete, Blackface Spain. Stole the Moor name, the name of the Moor were black, they stole the name, no more are white people. Americans were Native Americans, were Indians, now they are white people, so-called. Caucasian people they became. Just saying. These people never repented or paid anything to black people for slavery, and then they wanna come and speak against black people's stance. We have our own culture. Your culture is not ours. We are not comparable because you have killed babies for 400 years. Black people could not do that. They have not done so. How can a thief and a murderer come and make rules for black people and speak on morals? Like you are a normal human being, you would think. If you normal, give back America to the Native Americans. If you normal, give back Australia to the Aboriginals. If you are normal, give back Papua New Guinea to the original Aboriginals over there. Give Suriname back to the Native Americans if you say it's theirs. Give Africa back to the Africans. Just saying, before you stand up and think you have the place in life to say anything to black people, nobody on this planet has the right to tell black people anything. Because you are a murderer of black people, all of you. If you didn't know, go ask your grandmama. You are cursed for killing black people and their babies. Forever. There is no forgiveness. I say so. Various video review, man. Let's hear this pastor. Also, he came up against Sodom and Gomorrah stuff because it's spoiling the black neighborhoods. Various video review. Whether you agree with him or not, that's up to you. Let's hear it. I'm just showing you what's out there and what was out there already. Let's see it. Various video review. Dutch translation. Educational purpose.
Laws being made. Fifth Avenue North. On yesterday, we had a historical thing that happened in the city of Birmingham. They call it historical, you know, made history and all that kind of stuff. But I'm here this morning to talk about another history. History. To me, yesterday was one of the most bizarre scenes I ever seen in this city. One of the most comedic scenes I ever witnessed in public. When I witnessed men with size 13, 14 shoes out there kissing each other in the mouth in front of little kids. It was just bizarre. It was like a freak scene going on. That's what I call it. Now, I know about the government and laws being made, but I got a law this morning that came out in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 31. And it says, shall a man leave his mother and father and join to his wife, and they shall become one. And to have your kids out there yesterday, 6, 7 years old, holding flags, the Bible said, provoke not your children to riot. To riot. Proverbs 22 and verse 6, 7. Train up a child in the right way he should go. And when he get old, he went to park. I'm so delighted and honored that God would have me bold enough to stand here and talk about this issue. Well, all the preachers was yesterday. You know what I mean? The only time gonna make them come out them doors when they stop them tithing and offering in your church. And you can't have men's day no more, and youth day and women's day. I bet you're gonna have a sign in your hand with Brother Ed then. You're gonna be standing in front of the White House then. No, y'all gotta leave us alone. You know what I mean? But somebody should have stood up yesterday. Ain't it funny? Everybody got a right but the Christian. So I'm here this morning to talk about my right. Because I got a right too. I can.
Exactly, but he said it wrong. He said, ain't everybody got a right and the Christian too? No, black people too. Because the so-called Christian used the Bible to kill black people. They did not come to preach Jesus. Because Jesus is not their God. Krampusjul and Freya and Beowulf and Thor is their God. Druids is their God. That's what I know. Unless that has changed, man. The Bible was stolen from black people, that's what I know. Even if Jesus is white or Hindu or Indian or whatever, black people's story is the book. Just saying. Fair use video review, let's hear it. So he's telling you what I was saying already. So everybody can make up something between their ears that they are Christian or Jewish or in Sodom and Gomorrah and come to black people and say, no, you have to respect us because we are Christians. To me, you're not. I don't know what you mean with being a Christian. If being a Christian is killing black people, children for 400 years, yeah. Is being a Christian burning crosses on the lawn of black people in America with white sheets on your head, Ku Klux Klan crazies, burning Korans in Europe, in Sweden, in Holland, in Denmark, putting up blackface and black Pete, Zwarte Piet stuff? You are fighting for liberation and righteousness. Yeah, yeah, understood, man. So really what this pastor's saying, he said it correctly, but he should have replaced Christian with black people, man. Don't black people have a right to? The last time I checked, black people were the only one who can walk in the sun without getting melanoma. Thought so. Fair use video review. And the word human, hue means color. The word hue means color. Go look it up. Who has color on this planet? Just saying. Fair use video review. Let's hear it, man.
Barely said, praise the Lord. Christian, I bet you're going to have a sign in your hand with Brother Ed. Well, all the preachers was yesterday. You know what I mean? The only time going to make them come out them doors when they stop them tithing offering in your church. And you can't have Men's Day no more, and Youth Day, and Women's Day. I bet you're going to have a sign in your hand with Brother Ed then. You're going to be standing in front of the White House then. No, y'all got to leave us alone. You know what I mean? But somebody should have stood up yesterday. Ain't it funny? Everybody got a right but the Christian. So I'm here this morning to talk about my right. Because I got a right too. I can barely say praise the Lord in public now. I might go to jail. I might threaten a lawsuit on the job. You can't tell a person to have a blessed day. Ain't it sad? Y'all, I got a text this morning. Going to share it with you. I'm getting on out of here. I got a text all the way from Washington, D.C. And I'm going to break the news to y'all. And y'all in the back of me also. In 2 more years, in 2016, February the 9th, you won't only be able to marry your partner that you play football with no more. You're going to be able to marry your dog. You're going to be able to marry your cat. You're going to be able to marry your snake. You're going to be able to marry your rat. Your roaches. Some of y'all been with the roaches so long, you might well go and marry the roach. He been around your house so long, you're going to be able to marry your broom, your mop. Ain't we going crazy in this world, y'all?
And that really happened. Let me see if I can find it where the grown-up man was saying he's a 10-year-old child or something, man. 50-year-old man says he's a little girl. 50-year-old says he is a little girl. I thought it was called, man. Let's see if I find it. This is one of them. Blame. Let's check it. This is what he was saying 8 years ago. This pastor said it 8 years ago. You will be able to marry this and now what I want is this. Let's get it. Besides Pastor Manning getting caught with a 18-year-old. You see it here? That's what this pastor is saying. And this is 5 months ago. See, he was saying it 8 years ago and now it's happening. You see? 50-year-old man identifies as an 8-year-old girl. This is what they're fighting for. 50-year-old man identifies as an 8-year-old girl, and this man is gonna come and play with your children. This man is gonna come to your school and go to your little girl's toilet. Yeah, let's see it, man. Fair use video review. Let's watch the video a little bit also, man. Let's see it a bit.
Tracy, what do you make of all this?
Oh, it's bloody ridiculous.
It's not.
It is. It's embarrassing. It's a load of bollocks.
Tracy, what do you make of all this?
Oh, it's bloody ridiculous.
It's not.
It is. It's embarrassing.
Tracy, what do you make of all this?
Oh, it's bloody ridiculous.
It's not.
It is. It's embarrassing. It's a load of bollocks.
I'm trans. Deal with it.
You're not trans. You're having a breakdown.
Transphobic.
It's not transphobic. You're not trans.
I am trans.
I haven't got a problem with trans people. Real trans people. I couldn't give a shit. what gender people want to be or become, or what they want to be called, or how they want to dress, or whether they keep them, not with the family they were born with. They couldn't give a shit. But you are not trans. You're having a fucking breakdown.
I identify as an 8-year-old girl.
No, you're not an 8-year-old girl.
You are what you identify as.
Paul's this sort of shit all the time. He saw a documentary once about ME, had that for a year.
That was a nightmare. You tell it all the time, I couldn't work.
It was bullshit.
There is a lot of misunderstanding and cynicism about the disease.
Yeah, and you didn't fucking have it, you moron. Silly twat thought he caught Down syndrome last year.
I was 7.
Oh, fuck me. You're a 50-year-old plumber from Sheffield. Your name's Dennis, for fuck's sake.
It's Denise.
I'm not calling you Denise.
Again, transphobic, you see. If you love me, you deal with it.
I do love you. But I married Dennis Charlton, and if that's no longer your name, then I'm not married to you.
So this is what you need to understand. So what Crazy says, he's 54 years old, but now he's 8-year-old. And now you have to accept that. So he's gonna come into your life and with his baggage and have you living the craziness that's between their ears. But they never respect what you're saying. They've never respect you being even human, because to them black people are not even human. It's in their law, they are 3/5 of a man. Yeah, just saying. Let's see if I can find the one where the woman was identifying as a baby. Growing up woman identifies as a baby. Yeah, man, this one is it. Let's see it.
The words of Peter Pan, I never want to grow up. Can I put down the fridge? Hooray! I'm a little and he's my daddy.
The end.
In the words of Peter Pan, I never want to grow up. Can I put down the fridge? I'm a little and he's my daddy.
The end.
Dimly and already crumbling cities and rising smoke, and finally just take the form of houses and grotesque gardens. And I'm like to share their toys with each other. My name is Max, and I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
My name's Johnny, and I'm 31. The rain stopped. Do you want to go to the park?
Yeah.
Yeah? You go to the park?
Yes, because you're
So this guy is having sex with the 5-year-old. If this is real. Between their ears, this guy is having sex with the 5-year-old. Because that so-called is identifying as a 5-year-old baby. So this guy technically is having sex with a 5-year-old, right? If we need to take this serious. Yeah, intelligence at its best. I know. They are very smart. Serious video review. Let's see it, man. Craziness never stops.
And my name is Max, and I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
My name's Johnny, and I'm 31. The rain stopped. Do you want to go to the park?
Yeah.
Yeah? You can go to the park?
Yes, because you're off. I have a daddy baby day.
Daddy baby. Let's get a jacket on.
And shoes. I have to wear shoes. Also, I want to take Moana. Moana. DDLG, by definition, is Daddy Dom Little Girl, and it is a subsection of BDSM, which is a part of kink. I was just discovering things about the community, learning a bit more about it. I decided to try it out, and I've just loved it ever since. It's just me. I'm a pizza! There are a lot of people in the community that do this sexually, and I'm not one of those people. This is a completely non-sexual lifestyle for me. Yeah.
The way Max first told me that she was part of this lifestyle, she had shown me the videos that she was watching. She showed me a sippy cup and that she was eating these baby snacks, and I think that's when we had the conversation about it.
Can step in a puddle?
I know a lot of people look down on more hardcore versions of the BDLG subset, but for a lot of people, it's non-sexual. And like for us, it's non-sexual. If it's been a really hard day and she's been a really good girl, we'll go to the park.
So this growing up so-called is gonna come and play with your 5-year-old real child and saying that they are 5-year-old. And you have psychiatrists and psychologists out there pushing this. They are the one who created this. It's now a syndrome. Yeah. Called kink. And all those things that's negative in their life is and it has to be kink because black people have kinky hair. That's why it's called kink. If you didn't know. That's why they took hold this so-called woke thing to attach it at the black people struggle. Not my struggle and my people struggle, nigga. I have my God, you don't. I don't recognize the murderer of my people as being humane. I have the paperwork here where the justice system, international court has condemned their own people, Caucasian, globally Israeli, for killing my people in Suriname for 400 years. They are convicted for crime against humanity, genocide. And now they creating this. Coming to the playground with craziness. 60-year-old is now 10-year-old. Oh, yeah, that's too old. They are 3-year-old. Yeah. This is just a way to oppress black people. Because if black people come out and say, nigga, move the fuck away from me, man. Oh, now you hate us. You're the murderer of my people. Who cares if you are Sodom and Gomorrah or you know a so-called baby 5-year-old? To me, you're still the murderer of my people. Who cares what you name yourself? Like we supposed to partake in the craziness of the murderer of my people. Just think about it. Yeah. Fair use video review. So I'm gonna skip to another video. But now you see the craziness this pastor was speaking on. It's because of this. And he saw this coming 8 years ago. 8 years ago, he said this was gonna happen. See? Birmingham pastor's explosive speech. Let's hear it again. Fair use video review, man.
On yesterday, we had a historical thing that happened in the city of Birmingham. They call it historical, you know, made history, Fifth Avenue North. On yesterday, we had a historical thing that happened in the city of Birmingham. They call it historical, you know, made history and all that kind of stuff. But I'm here this morning to talk about another history. To me, yesterday was one of the most bizarre scenes I ever seen in this city. One of the most comedic scenes I ever witnessed in public. When I witnessed men with size 13, 14 shoes out there kissing each other in the mouth in front of little kids. It was just bizarre. It was like a freak scene going on. That's what I call it. Now, I know about the government and laws being made, but I got a law this morning that came out of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 31. And it says, shall a man leave his mother and father and join to his wife, and they shall become one. And to have your kids out there yesterday, 6, 7 years old, holding flags. The Bible said, provoke not your children to riot. Proverbs 22 and verse 6, 7. Train up a child in the right way he should go. And when he get old, he wouldn't depart. I'm so delighted and honored that God would have me bold enough to stand here and talk about this issue. Well, all the preachers was yesterday. You know what I mean? The only time gonna make them come out them doors when they stop them tithes and offering in your church. And you can't have Men's Day no more, and Youth Day and Women's Day. I bet you're gonna have a sign in your hand with Brother Ed then. You're gonna be standing in front of the White House then. No, y'all gotta leave us alone. You know what I mean? But somebody should have stood up yesterday. Ain't it funny? Everybody got a right but the Christian. So I'm here this morning to talk about my right. Because I got a right too. I can barely say praise the Lord in public now. I might go to jail. I might threaten a lawsuit on the job. You can't tell a person to have a blessed day. Ain't it sad? Y'all, I got a text this morning, gonna share it, which I'm getting on out here. I got a text all the way from Washington, D.C. And I'm gonna go and break the news to y'all, and y'all in the back of me also. In 2 more years, in 2016, February the 9th, you won't be able to marry your partner that you play football with no more. You're going to be able to marry your dog. You're going to be able to marry your cat. You're going to be able to marry your snake. You're going to be able to marry your rat. Your roaches. Some of y'all been with the roaches so long, you might well go and marry the roach. You've been around your house so long, you're going to be able to marry your broom, your mop. Ain't we going crazy in this world, y'all? Ain't we going crazy? I know Alabama made a lot of money yesterday. I know somebody else made a lot of money too. Duracell ain't got no batteries on the shelf this morning. All the batteries gone. I tried to find a battery for my radio this morning. Couldn't find them nowhere. I said, what happened? They said, Rev, they bought all the batteries last night. They celebrated some kind of way. Just bought all the batteries. I don't know what they do with the batteries though after that. I'm a preacher. I don't go there. You know what I mean? I don't know what they did with all the batteries. Now, Mr. Mayor, don't stop me in the hallway, you and your security team, and tell me I can't come here talking like I talk. Because you got a political job to do. I got a biblical job to do. And I'm going to do mine and you do yours. I'm going to stay in my lane and you stay in yours. I ain't bought by nobody. If I had to die doing what I'm going to do, I'm just fine. Y'all remember Peter and Paul and Silas were thrown in jail? I'm getting out of here, Mr. Officer. Don't you push that button. You remember Paul and Silas were thrown in jail? You remember the 3 Hebrew boys were thrown in the fiery furnace? You remember Daniel was thrown in the lion's den? They didn't say when he show up or if he show up. They said we know he going to show up. Why we scared today, preachers?
Your time.
Everybody coming out the closet but the saints. When we gonna come out the closet? And all the gay people ain't show up down there. Y'all say, we got some down low people that didn't show up. Some of them down here.
So man, you've seen it. That's why I showed you this small part you just seen. This one.
Little girl, and it is a subsection. Inch 20, but not really. Elephants like to share their toys with each other.
Go ahead, little girl.
My name is Max, and I'm 20, but not really, because I'm 5.
My name is Johnny, and I'm 31. The rain stopped. Do you want to go to the park?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to go to the park?
Because you're off, and I have a daddy baby day.
Daddy baby day. Let's get a jacket on.
And shoes. I have to wear shoes. Also, I want to take Moana.
Okay.
Moana. DDLG, by definition, is Daddy Dom Little Girl, and it is a subsection of BDSM, which is a part of kink. I was just discovering things about the community, learning a bit more about it. I decided to try it out, and I've just loved it ever since. It's just me.
Did you hear what she said? She tried it out and she liked it ever since. And now you have to go and adapt your life to their... yeah. Just saying, nigga. Just saying. Let's go to... Oh yeah, weed is now legal in the Netherlands, man. Let's see this, because many people are in jail for smoking weed and now it's legal. Yeah, let's see this, man.
En krijg je die legale wietsoorten nou nog een speciaal kleurtje of een glinstertje?
Krijg je een apart kolommetje en dat...
En krijg je die legale wietsoorten nou nog een speciaal kleurtje of een glinstertje?
Krijg je een apart kolommetje en dat...
En krijg je die legale wietsoorten nou nog een speciaal kleurtje of een glinstertje?
Krijg je een apart kolommetje en dat kolommetje dat wordt steeds groter het komend half jaar. Totdat dit verdwijnt en het andere kolommetje er is.
En staat er dan heel groot legaal boven?
Legaal, experiment, legaal, ik weet het niet. Of iets legalized of iets in die zin, ik weet het nog niet.
Oh, daar moet je nog even over nadenken.
Daar moet ik even over denken, ja.
Hier in het Paradijs in Breda hebben ze er zin in en ze hebben de primeur.
Na 40 jaar gedoogbeleid wordt het de eerste stap naar legalisering. Nu is
So what's gonna happen to all those black people in jail who they locked up for selling marijuana or smoking marijuana, man? Now they have changed the law. Now that they are smoking it, it's alright. If you're white, it's alright. If you're black, stay back. Just like, yeah. So let's skip this and go, yeah, man. Just saying. Let's go to, yeah, let's show this pasture. Let me done with this part. Here is where the pasture got caught with a little girl, man.
more like a 30-year-old.
This was 5 years ago. This is Pastor Manning getting caught.
More like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl.
Long-legged Mac Daddy.
You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl. 18-year-old girl. 18-year-old girl. You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl. You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl.
Long-legged Mac Daddy.
We were on the road touring, and if anybody could tell you, let me tell you something, if I've never in my life, man, fought for a person, I fought for that sister, man. I kicked down so many doors. I beat people back off of her.
A couple of days ago, we're talking about a guy named Pastor Manning. He's apparently the pastor of some anointed church that he's probably made up. He's otherwise known as Uncle Ruckus. He likes to criticize black people for being lazy and et cetera, et cetera.
And you don't have any integrity.
And he's, of course, criticized President Obama for being a
long-legged Mac Daddy.
To maturity level, you are truly a woman. I think the other thing is that I just feel so naturally drawn to you. I can't wait to hold you and look at you.
Long-legged Mac Daddy.
But I think the other thing is that...
And you don't have any integrity!
So what makes me so special out of all the girls?
18-year-old girl, 18-year-old girl, 18-year-old girl. First of all, you are incredibly beautiful. That's one thing. But I think that it's something about the look that's in your eyes, it's the chemistry, and your body looks so beautiful. You got an incredible body. You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl. In fact, every time, like on Wednesday night you came in, you had on a sort of a black blouse, I think,
yes.
Black stockings and a gray or something skirt. All I could think about was, wow, I sure would like to remove those stockings.
And you don't have any integrity!
And that blouse, and just look at your body is, it's so beautiful. You know, it's just you have an incredible body build.
And you don't have any integrity!
You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl. Your waist, your waistline, your hips, your dress, are just absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Long-legged Mac Daddy, and you don't have any integrity!
You talk more like a 30-year-old woman than you do an 18-year-old girl.
All new at 11, meditation is not easing the minds of several people tonight. They paid thousands of dollars for an out-of-town retreat.
The organizer canceling the event and initially keeping the cash.
Okay, this back part was about Sasa Ali when they said she took money allegedly and then organized. It was something, I don't know what she was gonna organize, but she didn't do it. She took the money or whatever. If it's true or not, it's up to them. This is my old channel, man. This is one of my old channel from 5 years ago. I still got many videos here. Videos like this videos. Maybe I'll drop some of these videos on one of the other websites. And these are all my videos. See, all this so-called Hassan Campbell stuff. 3 years ago, Hassan Campbell, brother, blah blah him. Sarah Sutansetti, blah blah, features Hassan Campbell. It was 4 years ago. You know, rose to 19. 4 years ago, Polite. So yeah, this channel, I've got more, man, like 5-6 years ago. This is the one where Hassan Campbell was crying, on the. Hey, let me drop that one into. No, I will leave that for another time, man. I could have dropped that one also in here, but let's leave it for what it is and move to. Let's do a part on Dr. HENRIK Clarke. Let's do a little bit of history and then roll up to Kwame Toure and end it there, man. So let's see it. Various video review. This is Afrocentric part of Dr. John HENRIK Clarke. I don't know why it would be anything else than Afrocentric, because if he's Afro, why wouldn't he think like an Afro? And that's the thing why I make these videos. Everybody wants black people to fight for them. Black Lives Matter has become All Life Matter. White Life Matter. Everybody is using it now. Why can't they think of something by themselves? All these racists, all these people say black people are stupid, but they will steal everything, every idea. They cannot come up with their own idea, man. These people cannot come up with their own idea. Black people came up with Black Lives Matter. Now they have to come with White Lives Matter. All Lives Matter. Blue Lives Matter. Black people came with hip-hop. Now we gotta be in hip-hop. And Sodom and Gomorrah people need to be in hip-hop. It's ours also. And no, you didn't come with the computer. You didn't invent no computer. If you wanna bring it there, I can show you the paperwork. I can show you paperwork about all these things that black people have invented in America, Africa, everywhere. That's for those crazies who think you're gonna, why are you using a computer? Because it's not yours. It's stolen by your forefathers, just like they stole America, Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, India, Canada, Papua. Just saying. Various video review. Let's hear it, man.
Professor of African World History at Hunter College. Dr. Clarke spoke at the University of Texas at Austin in November. Our guest is Dr. John HENRIK Clarke, professor of African World History at Hunter College. Dr. Clarke spoke at the University of Texas at Austin in November 1973 under the auspices of the university's African and Afro-American Research Institute. Dr. Clarke is introduced by Dr. John Warfield, associate professor and director of the institute.
In the annals of all people, we find certain men and women who've been willing to stand any appreciable distance from the herd in order to speak the truth to their own people and to the world. And they have often done that against great obstacles and great adversity. And we're privileged today on this campus to have with us one of those people who has been willing at times when it was unpopular to speak the truth regarding the civilization of man. And within that effort, to place African people in the proper perspective as we look at that civilization in history. Dr. John HENRIK Clarke, who is the professor of African World History at Hunter College, has been the associate editor of Freedom Ways quarterly journal, produced to speak to the question of black people in the world, and just recently concluding a 3-year distinguished visiting professor at Cornell University. He's been around among the folk, probably one of the most renowned teachers in the country, publishing many books. His most recent one, Slavery and Slave Trade, with Vincent Harding. And we're very much pleased to have him here today. It is at this point I'd like to present to you our colleague, our brother, Dr. John HENRIK Clarke.
I want to thank Professor Warfield for the invitation. And what I'm going to be talking about is Africa and the New World, new dimensions in African history, which means a new way of looking at Afro-American history. That means that I will be moving very rapidly over a large body of information, the kind of information that you need to devote a whole semester to. I think I'll begin by questioning the title of my lecture. What do you mean by New World? Inasmuch as the new information on the pre-Columbian presence of the African in the New World tends to prove that there were Africans in this side of the world in South America and the West Indies, but particularly in the West Indies and parts of South America as early as 500 BC. And the reading of Christopher Columbus's diary will prove that, according to his own accounts, and he was no friend of the blacks, that he found Africans in the New World doing business with Indians and using minted West African coin. And that when many of the Spanish conquistadors, especially those who went to the area that is the Panama Canal, they found small black colonies with the Indians in South America. And in a work by Walter Van Werthner, dealing with terracotta and sculpture in South and in Central America, he dug up the greatest physical evidence of the presence in the Africans in the New World that has so far been dug up. And in early works of Carter G. Woodson, and in a 3-volume work by Leo Wiener called The African and the Discovery of America, he said, and he pretty much sustained what he said, that the African could have preceded the Indians in this side of the world, and that a lot that you think of as Indian culture is African culture. He got thrown out of Harvard for writing a book. Now, why did this place Christopher Columbus and pretty much sustained what he said, that the African could have preceded the Indians in this side of the world, and that a lot that you think of as Indian culture is African culture. He got thrown out of Harvard.
Yeah, man. You already know if you seen my video yesterday. I showed you an African teacher, Dr. Pedro, who was decolonizing the children in South Africa on the university. What happened to him? Exactly. He was accused of inciting violence against Caucasians. What? Yes. Because he was decolonizing black people in South Africa University, they told him he should stop doing it because he's inciting violence against the Caucasian who are oppressing the people in South Africa. So you're supposed to suffer in silence. And I'm not saying if he's right about black people being earlier than Indians over there. I know in America many of those Indians are black Indians because they also live to the equator. To the equator, you will have more dark-skinned people with curls. Anybody who's got curly hair has black forefathers. Only black people have curly hair, if you didn't know. So-called kinky hair. That's why I was showing you that so-called 20-year-old girl saying she's 5 and it's called kinky. Don't you see a clown has curly hair? Just saying. Everything in society is set up to ridicule, or not ridicule, try to ridicule. Because you cannot ridicule me, you cannot discriminate me when you get melanoma in the sun and saying that you are God's children. Killing people and saying, black people are the murderers. And the name murderer. Moor is a black man's name. They place that in placement like when you kill somebody, it's like the black man, you like the black man. Murder. Moor is a black man. Used to be called Moors of Spain. That's why you got Black Pete, blackface. Yeah. Let's see it, man. Various video review. So you see, another doctor was on Harvard speaking on black people history. He got thrown out because he wrote a book about it. Yeah. And many people think that racism is in America. You should come to Holland. Just like your Quran burning, not Quran, your KKK cross burning, that's how they live here with Quran burning, man. These days in 2023. Even the one who won the elections in the Netherlands is convicted of racism. Geert Wilders is convicted for racism. The Dutch government, the Dutch people, Caucasians, Israelis, Safardin, Ashkenazi, Polish people, Swedish people, Denmark people, they are convicted of genocide against my people in Suriname. Crime against humanity. Yeah, by the international court. It would be strange if they didn't. Just saying. So every time a black man comes out and says, "Yo, I'm gonna fix black people stuff," they will attack you. Because they want to act like, I don't know if they are stupid or what's going on in between their ears. The ones who kill my people want to come and act like they're going to fight for black people causes, man. By making up names, Sodom and Gomorrah name and all those things. Those are people of color. Yeah. I'm not people of color. I'm Okanisi. We are Afro Mang, Afro Kang. If you have an Afro and your head and you're black, you are called Afro Mang or Afro Kang. Even if you are on the North Pole. Because you have an Afro curly, kinky, nappy hair. That's why you call Afara for Afro. And do you see your Afro is a protection against the sun, just like a helmet. Children of the sun. I thought Jesus was the sun. Oh, yeah. Various video review, man.
For writing a book. America, they found small black colonies with, and what I'm going to be talking about is Africa and the New World, new dimensions in African history, which means a new way of looking at Afro-American history. That means that I will be moving very rapidly over a large body of information, the kind of information that you need to devote a whole semester to. I think I'll begin by questioning the title of my lecture. What do you mean by New World? Inasmuch as the new information on the pre-Columbian presence of the African in the New World tends to prove that there were Africans in this side of the world in South America and the West Indies, but particularly in the West Indies and parts of South America as early as 500 BC. And the reading of Christopher Columbus's diary will prove that, according to his own accounts, and he was no friend of the blacks, that he found Africans in the New World doing business with Indians and using minted West African coin. And that when many of the Spanish conquistadors, especially those who went to the area that is the Panama Canal, they found small black colonies with the Indians in South America. And in a work by Walter Van Werthner, dealing with terracotta and sculpture in South and in Central America, he dug up the greatest physical evidence of the presence in the Africans in the New World that has so far been dug up. And in early works of Carter G. Woodson, and in a 3-volume work by Leo Wiener called The African and the Discovery of America, he said, and he pretty much sustained what he said, that the African could have preceded the Indians in this side of the world, and that a lot that you think of as Indian culture is African culture. He got thrown out of Harvard for writing a book. Now, why did this place Christopher Columbus in context with New World discovery? And inasmuch as he discovered a world full of people, then let us assume that the people that he discovered something. And he discovered both Indians and Africans in this side of the world. In actuality, when we look at this year, 1492, look at its great significance in history. Maybe of all the things that happened in 1492, maybe the least important thing that happened, but this bad navigator started out from one side of the world and stumbled up on the other side of the world. Now, it has been proven that the Portuguese had already charted their movement to this side of the world. Look at its great significance in history. Maybe of all the things that happened in 1492, maybe the least important thing that happened, but this bad navigator started out from one side of the world and stumble up on the other side of the world.
And I'll show you how important this is. I'll show you, because yesterday I told you, even in East Africa, they told the people over in Africa the same story. You are not from here, we brought you to Zanzibar. Zanzibar is East Africa, Kenya. And they told them, the Muslims went there and told them they brought them there as slaves. They are not from Africa. Even Caucasian will tell you on their paper that Caucasian are Africans. I've seen the paperwork and even movies about it. If you don't know, go out there and Google it. Caucasians are Africans, they say. And that's why I will show you this movie. They will always change black people's name. And that's why I'm making all these movies. Because I don't understand how the enemy who killed my people for 400 years, they say, is out here still trying to tell my people's history. When you're encountered with my people, Maroons, it's only been war. You killing black people. That's what we know. We know Caucasian. Maroons know Caucasian as the devil. I have the videos to show you if you want to see it. If a Maroon sees a Caucasian coming where I'm from, they will run away. True real talk. Because we know them as murderers, man. Let's listen to this video. Fair use video review. Let's see how they have changed black people name over time to keep them confused about what or who they are. They are making a lot of effort to be in the neighborhood of black people that they don't like and hate. And now making up laws like the Sodom and Gomorrah crew to place as a buffer against black people for when they speak out, so then one of these Caucasians can come out and say they are Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't care what you are, what you're doing in your bedroom. You're still the killer of my people. You're still the rapist of the children in Suriname and North America and South America and South Africa there. Congo. Everywhere black people are, these people went there and killed them. Go look up, what's their name? In Australia, there was a cartoon, man. The Tasmanian Devil. Look up the real stories about Tasmanian Devil. It's black people they were saying was the devil, and they killed all of them. They killed all the black people on Tasmania. Yeah, fair use. And these are the people telling you what history and what true and not true is. A murderer, a killer. Is me saying it? No. It's what you are, and you have been convicted by your own international court that you have set up. That you are genocidal and maniacal against my people. Fair use video review. Let's hear it. How they try to change black people name in America, man. Let's hear it. They've already tried to do it again this year in Suriname. They told my people are no longer Okanisi or Maroon. They're supposed to be Afro. Afro is our hairstyle. You don't have to come and tell me who I am. You are the enemy murderer of my people. These people will forgive themselves for their murders against my people and then think they're gonna approach us again. And maybe they will approach other Maroons and other black people, but not me. To me, you are cursed forever. As long as there is a sun and moon shining, you are cursed for killing black people. That's what I know. That's my culture. That's my God. Real talk. Fair use video review. Let's see it, man. How they try to change black people, everything again. This is how they do it. Black people will live life, create stuff, and then these people will come and destroy it, steal it, and then give black people another name and steal the name. That's why you got the whole beef about black Jews and now so-called Israeli Dutch Jews. These German people now say that they are the children of God, but their DNA proof different, and they are the killers of black people in Suriname. That's what I know. It was called Jerusalem and the Rivier. I can read it for you. Maybe I'll read it later. Maybe if I show Kwame Toure one of the other video after that, I have more Kwame Toure videos coming. So maybe I'll show one of them and then read about Jerusalem at the river in Suriname. Israel was Suriname before it became Canaan. Where they are is called Canaan. That's why one of the god of my people is called Tataang Kanayaw. Yes. Tataang Kanayaw. That same Yaw is Yawsu. My father's mention. Nigga. Various video review. Let's leave it at that. And when I speak, I don't speak on your book knowledge and your crazy Caucasian sickness knowledge over there. They know nothing. Various video review. Let's see it, man.
Shot. Next tonight, we look at one of the most vigorous internal debates in the black community in the past 2 decades. It's the issue of changing from black to African American. It had only been 22 years since the last major name change had occurred. It happened just after a white racist shot James Meredith, the first black graduate of Ole Miss. The shooting occurred on a southern highway as Meredith was leading a voter registration march from Memphis, Tennessee to Jackson, Mississippi. It so enraged student activist Stokely Carmichael that as he emerged from a Greenwood, Mississippi jail where he had been held for his voter registration work, the first words to emerge from his mouth were, "Black Power." It was the beginning of a major new phase in black confidence and self-assertion that captured the imagination and stirred the consciousness of black people all over the world. Now, according to some polls, a majority of black people have said they prefer the term African American. But the issue is far from settled.
I prefer to be called African American because African American reflects the true nature of my cultural heritage.
And I think it's better for you to be called black. What's wrong with that? It's different black. It's black Africans. It's black West Indians, you know. Black is beautiful. That's what I have to say.
I'm an American, whether I'm a black American or what, don't make any difference. I'm just an American.
You had the caucus in the election, they kept calling him Greek American, so being that every black person over here has African heritage, you know, it should be called African American.
Editorials in both black and white publications generally supported the call to use African American. The New York Times called it healthy archaeology, arguing that blacks may now feel comfortable enough in their standing as citizens to adopt the family surname American, and their first name, African, conveys a pride and cultural heritage that all Americans cherish.
Yeah, but the Americans killed the black people and the Indians, so did they kill themselves? That's the question here historically. When you will go into the books as African American, when they will read in those days 100 years from now, oh, the Americans killed the black people, the so-called slaves and the Native Americans. Oh, but these are the African Americans, so they were part of the killing of black people, so maybe they are not really black. That's the discussion you're gonna get. That's why I like to say, nigga, I'm maroon and I've got my own culture to make sure this doesn't happen, to come and collude and pollute all my being with this craziness that they propagate out there. How can the killer of my people become one with me? It is impossible in my culture. You cannot become part of my culture unless your mother is one of us. And that will be forever, ever, ever. Nigga. Fair use video review. Let's hear it. So the enemy who has killed black people is giving black people's name. Is giving black people name. If black people want to take the name by themselves, it's up to them. But this is done by the one killing black people and hates. They hate black people. Every nation on the world hate black people. I know. In Suriname, it's not different. Fair use video review, man.
Publications generally supported the call. Next tonight, we look at one of the most vigorous internal debates in the black community in the past 2 decades. It's the issue of changing from black to African American. It had only been 22 years since the last major name change had occurred. It happened just after a white racist shot James Meredith, the first black graduate of Ole Miss. The shooting occurred on a southern highway as Meredith was leading a voter registration march from Memphis, Tennessee to Jackson, Mississippi. It so enraged student activist Stokely Carmichael that as he emerged from a Greenwood, Mississippi jail where he had been held for his voter registration work, the first words to emerge from his mouth were, "Black Power." It was the beginning of a major new phase in black confidence and self-assertion that captured the imagination and stirred the consciousness of black people all over the world. Now, according to some polls, a majority of black people have said they prefer the term African American. But the issue is far from settled.
I prefer to be called African American because African American reflects the true nature of my cultural heritage.
And I think it's better for you to be called black. What's wrong with that? It's different black. It's black Africans. It's black West Indians, you know? Black is beautiful. That's what I have to say.
I'm an American, whether I'm a black American or what, don't make any difference. I'm just an American.
You had the caucus in the election, they kept calling him Greek American, so being that every black person over here has African heritage, you know, it should be called African American.
Editorials in both black and white publications generally supported the call to use African American. The New York Times called it healthy archaeology, arguing that blacks may now feel comfortable enough in their standing as citizens to adopt the family surname American, and their first name, African, conveys a pride in cultural heritage that all Americans cherish. Said the Chicago Defender, as the world continues to shrink, Americans who speak to their Africanness with the African American title will likely find the cultural, education, and economic relationship with others much smoother. Opinion also varied among the guests we interviewed in our special Black History Month series.
I always thought that Afro-American or African American was the appropriate designation. And there is some beneficial effects in acknowledging the reality, the African heritage and the American presence. But that's not the critical issue. The critical issue is gaining power.
I believe that it is important for us as a people to think that we are connected to the world, because the African diaspora was for real. We were sent to different parts of the world.
Well, naturally, it's our heritage. But all of us here are really educated and exposed to American life. So is that we really are, we have to dig back for this ancestry. I mean, I'm not an African.
It's a very complicated question. So rather than argue over it, let's not give up black, let's not give up African. So in all the work that I do, the essays I write, I use both interchangeably.
For more on the story, we turn now to 4 other people with different views. Kwame Toure is an organizer with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, a group attempting to politically unite African people living in 113 countries all over the world. It was his call for black.
This guy looks like Jimmy Cliff, man. Let me find Jimmy Cliff real fast. Jimmy Cliff. That's why I was thinking, this guy looks like somebody, man. Is Jimmy Cliff in a movie? Let me Google it quick. Maybe I can find the picture, man. And the harder they come is the movie. You will see, he looks exactly like Jimmy Cliff, man. Let me look the movie. The harder they come. This guy looks exactly. He could have been his brother, man. He could have been his brother. Yeah, with the afro here, boom. And the movie. This is a good picture. See, he looks like Jim. That's why I was thinking this guy looks like somebody, man. Is he a doppelganger? Is he a doppelganger? Let's see it here, man. Boom. Bah. See, this is Jimmy Cliff, man. See, Jimmy Cliff, and let's take this off. Boom. Yeah, this is Jimmy Cliff, and this is Kwame Toure. You see? They could have been brothers, man. They could have, their eyes is the same. The way Kwame Toure is looking, but they are the same people. Cause Kwame, if yeah, but he took the name later on, Kwame. But he probably is he might be one of the Jamaicans, so-called, who was sent to North America. Cause they were sending North Americans to South America, South Americans to North America, to Barbados, to Curacao, everywhere, man. If you was making trouble, they would grab you and send you somewhere far away from your family, so you could get hurt. That the whole goal was to hurt you. So you see, they both look. Their eyes, they could be brothers. If somebody told you, yeah, this is two brothers, you would believe it, man. One is Jamaican, the other one is South American and North American, but it's American. So, yeah, whatever. Haiti is America also. But anyways, let's leave it at that. It was just me seeing like this guy looks like someone. Yeah, man. Let's hear it. Let's hear from Kwame Toure.
Educated and exposed to American life, so is that we really are. We have to dig back for this ancestry. I mean, I'm not an African.
It's a very complicated question. So rather than argue over it, let's not give up black, let's not give up Africa. So in all the work that I do, the essays I write, I use both interchangeably.
For more on the story, we turn now to four other people with different views. Kwame Toure is an organizer with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, a group attempting to politically unite African people living in 113 countries all over the world. It was his call for black power in 1966, when he was known as Stokely Carmichael, that catapulted the term black into popular usage. Leon Winter is a copy editor for the Wall Street Journal, and last week wrote an article that appeared on the journal's op-ed page called "This African American Still Feels Black." J. Bruce Llewellyn is a businessman who owns the 8th largest Coca-Cola bottling company in the country. He also owns television station WKBW, an ABC affiliate in Buffalo. Ramona Edlin is president of the National Urban Coalition. She proposed the name change at the Chicago meeting of black leaders last December. And to you, Ms. Edlin, the current initiative is largely your brainchild. Why is it important to use that term and not black?
Charlene, we have an opportunity to renew values such as mastery and learning, the importance of the family, unity, which is of the utmost importance right now, at a time when our children couldn't be in more distress and turmoil, when we face a new century. And it's up to us to be sure that the problem of the 21st century is not also the problem of the color line, as Du Bois prophesied in 1903 this century would be.
But how does that, how does African American affect all of that?
Well, we see, going back to African cultural ties to the land base that is our mother as crucial in this process. And what I'm hoping is that we can recreate some of the spirit of the movement years, particularly for the children, by going back to values which were stripped systematically from us, as we all know, when we were enslaved for 250 years in this nation.
Mr. Winter, you don't want to change from black.
No, well, I don't disagree that it is important for us to be cognizant of where we come from and the depth of our history that began before slavery. I just don't see the particular need in calling for a renewal of the movement to leapfrog over the 400-odd years of history and of proud accomplishments that we can point to and indeed need to reacquaint our children with here in this country first. So I believe that it is important to teach the children and to, in general, imbue Black America with a knowledge of where it comes from, but to focus this effort on claiming what is ours here as Americans, which is the country that we are citizens of and where we pay our taxes.
Mr. Llewellyn, you prefer the term American.
Well, I guess in all my years on this earth, I've been called about 5 or 6 different things. I've been called Black. I've been called Afro-American. Now we're talking about African-American. I've been called Negro. I've been called colored. And what strikes me as a continuous theme or theorem in all of this is the fact that we never have been called full citizens of the United States of America. And what I'd like to see accomplished once and for all is that we are considered as full citizens and have all the rights and privileges there too. All I see is that people in Russia, people in Poland, people in Nicaragua are all packing their bags and heading for the United States of America, feeling it's some kind of panacea or a great place to be. And there must be something here that brings all these people. All I'm saying to you is that I think it's a disgrace that we have been here for well over 200 years and we have not enjoyed these full benefits that a lot of people have come here generation after generation and gotten. And I think that's the key. That's where we ought to go. I'll be very honest with you. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't be worrying so much about whether you call me African-American or not. I would like very much to see throughout this country, as other groups have put in museums called Holocaust, to see slavery museums, museums which would show our suffering, our contribution over the years up until the year 1989 as to what we have done to give something to America. I think to try and leapfrog back and take youngsters in 1989 and tell them about our agrarian background in Africa is almost impossible at this point in time. The other problem with this is I listened to one gentleman on the thing say, well, during the campaign we talked about Michael Dukakis as being a Greek American. Well, Greek American pinpoints a country called Greece. African American does not pinpoint any country. It is a continent. And therefore, either you're going to play a game called European American or African American, or otherwise, again, we still haven't been able to refine ourselves down to where we come from, whether we come from Nigeria or Kenya.
All right. Well, let me just go to Mr. Toure here. In the 1960s, as I said before, you were one of the ardent proponents of using the term Black. How do you feel now about abandoning it in favor of African American?
Well, I do not even use the term African American. I use the term Africans because that's what we are. We're Africans in America. There's nothing American about us. Our history has only been a history of struggle in America. We are the only ethnic group in America who have to shed our blood to make reform. To get the vote, we must shed our blood. To get our children to school, we must shed our blood. To get on a bus and sit where we want, we must shed our blood. To even get in a filthy 5 and 10 cent store, we must shed our blood. So I don't see how we could be American. We're Africans in America struggling against American capitalism. And only until it's destroyed will we enjoy the rights that everyone else is speaking of.
Well, how do you respond to that, Mr. Llewellyn?
Well, what he's trying to do is to change the name of the game or change the rules. And I haven't got time to change the rules. I've got to look at what is. I guess I'm more practical about this. Maybe the ideal panacea is to change the rules and make it all a kind of a equal socialistic state. But in the meantime, let's talk about what is. This is a capitalistic society. We are here. We are paying our taxes. We are doing work each and every day. And I think we have the right to participate. We have sent people to war since the revolutionary times and spilled our blood for America, from Crispus Attucks in the Revolutionary War all the way down through this Vietnam. So therefore, I want to get what you can construe as my piece of the action like everybody else has gotten. And it really annoys me to see people who haven't made this kind of contribution over the years come here and feel that they can claim it and get it. And we have done that.
You have a response to that?
Of course. In the first place, just because we're in capitalist just because we're in the capitalist system doesn't mean we must love it. We were made slaves. It doesn't mean that while you're a slave, you must love slavery. A conscious slave, by picking cotton on the plantation, is thinking about how to escape, how to bring freedom. Therefore, just because we're in capitalism doesn't mean we must enjoy it. We have to fight for an equal society. That's our history. Our people show that we spill blood instinctively to advance humanity. And we have this responsibility to advance America, yes, to a socialist state.
You would seem to imply from your comment that capitalism is utterly inconsistent with Africa and Africans.
It is.
But I would posit that that's not true. If you look again at the nations of Africa, if you look at African people in every country of the world, especially in recent times, they essentially want things. They want products. They want the things that it's, at least up to this point, demonstrated that only capitalism, with its imperfections and with its inequities, which hopefully some people believe can still be tamed, people want things, and I don't somehow see a worldwide Pan-Africanism as also spelling the death knell for capitalism at the same time. It seems inconsistent. There are too many people who want cars in Lagos, Nigeria, last time I checked. The traffic jams are horrendous.
I don't think we can solve that one right now, but let me just go back to Ramona Elan, because both Mr. Winter and Mr. Llewellyn talked about how they don't think it's possible to leapfrog over a lot of history and go back. It's impossible to go back to the agrarian life, that you can't even pinpoint a place in Africa where black people come from, if I'm paraphrasing your comments correctly. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, our culture and heritage in Africa entail far more than agrarian economies. Mathematics and science were born in Africa, philosophy and religion. And as well as that, we've been accomplished musicians and dancers for centuries. There's so much in our cultural heritage that we need to recoup right now, particularly for the children. And it is possible to leapfrog, as they put it. As a matter of fact, it's not only possible, it's necessary. Because if you begin with slavery, then you will still have children looking in your eyes as they do in mine, in our cities and in the streets, and saying, what difference does it really make to you, to me, or to anyone else, whether I live or die, whether I take drugs, whether I kill another person, whether I learn anything in school? We have a responsibility. And I think that one way we can have a cultural renaissance is to identify with the land base that gave us the wonderful things about our nature and our culture.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Well, that all sounds very nice and wonderful, but I invite you to take a look at Africa right now and today and look at the situation in Eritrea against Ethiopia and all the other things that have happened, Biafra with the Nigerians and what have you. That, in my opinion, is idealistic and not the gut of the problem. The gut of the problem is something called values. The gut of the problem is something called family. The gut of the problem is something called importance. What do we construe and believe to be important?
I would submit that without a cultural offensive, without our unifying at this particular time and saying what we believe in and who we are and how we will train our children and what our families mean to us, that we will continue to have those same gut issues. That's precisely the point. We will continue unless we develop a cultural vehicle which will move us forward. All groups move forward by strength of their culture. It is a myth that individuals move forward. And certainly we cannot accept 2 or 3 of our group emerging year after year while the vast masses of us continue to go down. We have a responsibility.
Let me raise a point back to you, Kwame Toure. When you launched this move that resulted in black being adopted as the defining symbol for African-American people, many people felt that it helped to purge them of all the negative feelings about themselves, that it really represented the first major psychological break. And you heard the woman in the tape talk about black is beautiful. I mean, that was the most positive affirmation of blackness by black people. What do you say to people now who say you simply cannot abandon the term that came to symbolize so much for black people?
Human progress does not stand still. It moves. We came here as Africans. One of the first organizations we had fighting for us is known as the Free African Society. The very first independent organization we had in this country was the church. It was known as the African Methodist Episcopalian Church. So from Africans, our oppressor has changed us to colored, to Negro, to this, to that. We understand it's a step. Coming to black had a powerful point, because the point was that we were oppressed because of this color of our skin, and this was racism. But this fight is not just a fight over the color of our skin. A fight for power is a fight for land. When Mr. Llewellyn speaks about power, he's talking about land. Our land is Africa. America is not our land. It belongs to the American Indians, and we have a right to stand and take a moral struggle with them. And we don't worry about people being for things. People want things is incorrect. The point is not to explain the world. The point is to change it. If the people want material things, then we have a responsibility to tell them that things more important than material things, like freedom.
Mr. Winter?
Well, I can't claim to have been there, indeed, when black was coined, because I was somewhat in high school and I was on the listening end as, indeed, you were doing the talking. But it's always been my feeling that black was more than the recognition of where our blood comes from. It has a lot to do with the experience of people of color in a larger sense under colonialism, whether it was external colonialism, let's say in the Caribbean, or the internal colonialism that we had to deal with here in the United States, rather than simply a statement of Africa. Because the fact is, we have become more than simply descendants of Africa. We have created a lot of what America is in our own image. When you talk about this cultural-based offensive, I would rather see us claim American culture, which is not European culture. America does not mean white. American doesn't mean white. It means a combination of European and African and Asian and the rest of the cultures of the whole world. This is what America is. And if it denies the fact of what is African within it, then it's up to us to continue to assert that no, America does not mean white. America means a melting and a combination of things.
I think that's the point. We are saying African and American, and not everyone is willing to say American, and not everyone is willing to say African. But the point is we are trying to merge the two, and American society at this point in time does exclude the African reality. America is an African as well as a European invention. Well, we know that, but it isn't accepted widely as of now.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Evelyn. What is wrong? Hakeem Madabuti said a few moments ago that in his writing and everything, he's going to use both. I mean, is there a problem with using African American for those who choose to, and for those who choose to use black, to use black?
No, I think we all will use both to a certain extent. First of all, it's going to be hard to break old habits that were very dear to us, and I certainly was along with Stokely in the days when the name was changed. But it is important to continue to draw the consciousness of our people to a set of values which were positive and productive for us. To call our mother's name is Africa. We are children without her if we leave that out, and I think that it's fair to say no one of us is satisfied with the status quo today.
Well, it seems that Time Magazine, in fact, has a piece on this week, and it says that for more than a century, descendants of freedmen have debated what name they should bear as a people, and in every instance, the shift in the change of appellation coincided with a new phase in the struggle for equality. Is that what's going on now, in your view, and what stage is this?
Yes, and I think this is a point of evolution in our culture, and it's the stage right before we cross the threshold to the 21st century. I think we are saying that there's a quickening of our will. We will not cross the threshold of the 21st century in the condition that we are today.
All right, let me ask Mr. Winter, what do you think about that?
I don't necessarily see this as a quickening, if you will, in that kind of direction. It seems to me that a move like this is an attempt more at a rhetorical assertion to sort of put a new name on things. But I don't see where it quite takes us to getting a better handle on what is immediately in front of us.
Maybe I should say, Charlene, that the cultural offensive is going to entail agenda setting, goal setting, working together to achieve our purposes. As you well know, Charlene, in the movement years, when you decided to desegregate the University of Georgia along with Ham, we were unified around your decision. We were purposeful. We were powerful. There was a sense of destiny, and we achieved our goals. What we are so sadly lacking now is any sense of purpose or destiny. We are not setting agendas. We are not working together, though we're working very hard.
But is that because we don't have the right name?
Well, the name change is the first step in what we hope will be a self-conscious examination of our culture, going back to our ancient as well as our contemporary strengths, and pulling together a vehicle which will be more useful to us than the one that we are now engaged in. If anyone is satisfied with the status quo, I'm not aware of it, particularly our children.
Mr. Llewellyn, just very briefly, do you see this as a critical stage in the evolution of...
I swear, I do not know why people keep talking about what the container is called. It's what's the content of the container. This won't get us into the 21st century unless our kids can read, write, compute, and be able to compete in this country to make a living and to make progress. If that doesn't take place, we can put African American on them, we can put Negro on them, we can put anything you want to put on them, but they're not going to play the game in the 21st century because the field is getting tougher and tougher, and it's not a level field.
Bruce, as you know,
wait, just a minute. Let me just we're about to run out of time. Mr. Toure, a final comment on that point.
The error of the thinking here is that most people think that Africans in America came here just like other immigrant groups did. All other immigrants came to America expecting a better way of life. We started in hell, which was a slave ship, and we're still in hell. This incorrect assumption makes it appear as if we've made a contribution with our culture. Our culture has been trampled upon, not the others. Any contribution we've made to America is the test of the strength of our culture in spite of this oppression. We are Africans, and that's exactly where we're going.
Is the term, in your view, is that where you end it? Is that where it stops?
The content was African. The label has been changed to confuse us. If we came as Africans, how do we end up as Americans? How do we
I would beg to differ here that my ancestors came here in a slave boat. They didn't. They came from the island of Jamaica, and they came on their own because they thought it was a better place to be than Jamaica.
They came to Jamaica. They came as slaves to Jamaica. I was born in Trinidad. That's where the slave ship dropped them. We're all slaves.
Right.
We're all slaves.
We can't solve this one.
Yeah, man. You see, Kwame Toure is out there, man. He's right about that. He was born on Trinidad. So he's a Kwamu. That's why I was saying, that's why the name Kwame is a and that's why you have Kwame, Kwasi, Kwabena, all those names, man. So you see, this other guy is saying, but my parents came from Jamaica, so they were brought there by boat. Yes, they were brought from maybe Barbados or Trinidad or even maybe North America to Jamaica. Yes, if you would make trouble somewhere, they would grab you and ship you to Curacao or somewhere. They would ship you somewhere, man, so you could get hurt. They would separate you from your family. That's what they used to do. Just like today, if you make trouble in jail, in prison, they will send you to another prison. If you're in New York, they will send you to maybe Alaska. If you're in Alaska, they might send you to Florida, so they can make your life hell. That's always been the goal against black people. So what they both saying, I don't really care who's right or not who's right, is black people discussing it, and that's my point. Understand? That's my point. If black people they decide they want to be called elevator, is up to them. As long as it's not the Caucasian or anybody else coming and deciding that, I'm fine with it. If they say one of these other guys has to be their president, I'm fine with it if it's not a Caucasian telling them to do so. You cannot use the one who has killed our people to come and tell you anything. They have no morals to me. That's what I mean. A murderer of my people has no morals. That's what I know in my culture. And my culture is the same culture as he's saying, Trinidad, Jamaica, even North America. You have maroons, the Gula Gucci, I think, or Seminole mix maroons or whatever. So there is maroons all over the place, man. A maroon is a black man living, an Afro black man living in the woods. It doesn't necessarily mean they ran from the plantation. I've told that stories many times. Some came from plantation, others were POWs fight against Britain and Dutch along the coast of America and Africa for 200 years. It's not me saying just the story, it's how it was. Just saying. So, yeah, let me still show a small part of Dr. Clarke and let it be like that, man. Because this was important to show that they will change your name, and that's why you have confusion. Like in Suriname right now, they want to come and change Maroon's name. That will never happen, crazy. We have our own culture, and the Caucasian does not understand what Maroon or African culture is. They have no black morals. Otherwise they would not have killed black people for 400 years, supposedly, like they say. It's 1200 years, counting from Spain, from blackface. Blackface is Black Pete. Go read about the Moors. That's why they say murderer. They use black people name for anything negative. A black day. Oh, this day you're looking black. Yeah. Everything is a dark day today. And all those things, man. That is a murder. Moor is a name they used to use for black people, like Egyptian, just like they changing the name now to Afro, Negro, and African American, American African, Caribbean, and all those names. It's Afro King. You have an Afro, and if you black, Afro Mang, Afro King is simply somebody with an Afro on his head, even if he's on the North Pole. It's an Afro Kang because Kang is replaceable, is exchangeable with man. Man is a Ken. Imandasan dati ay akang. Amang, yes, akang. Can you do this? Yes, man. Man is mang is kang is the same thing. All these things that some people might say, I'm not akang. Akang simply means amen, the first one created. A is one. Just saying. And that's dimensional. I don't speak carnally or bodily talk, man. I'm not with bodily worldly talk. I don't participate in y'all world. Everything I'm saying, mostly 99% is about dimensional. I don't want to even say spiritual, because every crazy is spiritual these days. If you did not have a spirit, you won't be waking up in the morning. You would not be waking up in the morning if you did not have a spirit. That does not mean that you are a manifestation of God. That's something else. An angel possession is something else. It's a doctor or a fixer, a police officer. That's how the manifestation you see of black people in maroon culture is being viewed as. If an angel would come to the Maroons, it would mean that they come to administer medicine, medical purpose, for medical purposes, or police business. In my culture, a Witty, so-called, is an angel, or subscribe, and if you would describe it to a Caucasian. Not that is one-on-one, but yeah. So in my culture, when you have those things, it's about fixing things. So all these things, many people also coming, I'm spiritual, but it doesn't work like that. You cannot choose to be spiritual. The spirit only can choose to manifest on you. You cannot manifest the spirit, just saying. And it's not what I think, it's what I know. Let's listen to Dr. Clarke a bit more, because this is what is going on for thousands of years. The black people, it's just like black people were saying nigga, nigga, nigga on their CD and all those things. Now it's forbidden to say it. Now all those music was made with those terms. They will be used, and somebody can claim the name that they are the niggas. Just saying. 100 years from now, another group is gonna say they are the Negroes, just like Moors became white. Moor, if you look for a Moor today, they will show you a Caucasian or a white Arab. A Turkish guy will be Moor or something. Moor are black people. Just saying. Fair use video review. Let's see Dr. Clarke for a minute, man.
Now, particularly in the West,
popular to their own people and to the world in the proper freedom ways found among HENRIK Clarke.
I want to thank Professor Warfield for the invitation. And what I'm going to be talking about is Africa and the New World, new dimensions in African history, which means a new way of looking at Afro-American history. That means that I will be moving very rapidly over a large body of information, the kind of information that you need to devote a whole semester to. I think I'll begin by questioning the title of my lecture. What do you mean by New World? Inasmuch as the new information on the pre-Columbian presence of the African in the New World tends to prove that there were Africans in this side of the world, in South America and the West Indies, but particularly in the West Indies and parts of South America, as early as 500 BC. And the reading of Christopher Columbus's diary will prove that, according to his own accounts, and he was no friend of the blacks, that he found Africans in the New World doing business with Indians and using minted West African coin. And that when many of the Spanish conquistadors, especially those who went to the area that is the Panama Canal, they found small black colonies with the Indians in South America. And in a work by Walter Van Werthner, dealing with terracotta and sculpture in South and in Central America, he dug up the greatest physical evidence of the presence in the Africans in the New World that has so far been dug up. And in early works of Carter G. Woodson, and in a 3-volume work by Leo Wiener called The African and the Discovery of America, he said, and he pretty much sustained what he said, that the African could have preceded the Indians in this side of the world, and that a lot that you think of as Indian culture is African culture. He got thrown out of Harvard for writing the book. Now, why did this place Christopher Columbus in context with New World discovery? And inasmuch as he discovered a world full of people, then let us assume that the people that he discovered something. And he discovered both Indians and Africans in this side of the world. In actuality, when we look at this year, 1492, look at its great significance in history. Maybe of all the things that happened in 1492, maybe the least important thing that happened was this bad navigator started out for one side of the world and stumbled up on the other side of the world. Now, it has been proven that the Portuguese had already charted their movement to this side of the world, and they did not confuse the West Indies with the East Indies as Christopher Columbus did most of his life. And one of the main reasons why they did not come ahead of Columbus, because they had it on their charts and they had established priority. They wanted to build those fortresses along the coast of West Africa they were going to use to hold the slaves while the ships come in, they gave that priority to New World movement. But the Portuguese, who were the master mariners of the day, thanks to the information that filtered into Europe after the Crusades, mostly from China, they had no confusion about what this part of how to get to this part of the world. All right, now, my point is, had Christopher Columbus not come, Europeans were going to come anyway. Now, there is all the talk about, which is beautiful folklore, about the debate between whether the world was round or flat. These were old wives' tales told in Europe that had no great significance. Now, as the Europeans came out of the Crusades, began to recover some of their own strength, began to stir from the lethargy of the Middle Ages, they made a decision, and that decision still holds, and that is, whatsoever the world is in shape, round or flat, we are going to take it. And that is what they did. And they decided that whosoever ruled the world is going to be one of us. And this decision, coming at a time when there were internal differences between the African states, and when the pluralistic states in West Africa had not settled their family differences, and when they made the horrible mistake of inviting the first Europeans in to arbitrate family differences, they were in serious trouble because they were making a glaring error, which many African states still made. The African who came to the New World did not yield his African identity. In fact, he began to search for that African identity. And he began in this period of Holocaust and disarray and mixtures of culture. He began to search not only for his identity in this new world, but his identity in the world. And he knew that he had an identity and a history that commanded respect. And when blacks began to produce an intellectual class in the Western world, that intellectual class, both in the West Indies and America, began to address itself to the definition of blacks in world history, began to attempt to locate blacks on the map of human geography. And some of the pioneers in this movement were scholars from the West Indies. Some Afro-Americans gave up the search and adopted the distorted image that was created by their oppressors. But as early as 1881, Edmund Wilmot Blyden, the great West Indian scholar and benefactor of West Africa, addressed himself to this situation when he said, this is 1881 now, this is his inaugural address at the Liberia College. And if you listen to it, you'll find out that this man in 1881 was ahead of most of the black scholars of today. He would go on to have a great career and to write a classic work that would do well to read today called Christianity, Islam, and the Negro Race. He says during this speech, in all English-speaking countries, the mind of the intelligent Negro child revolts against the deceptions and the distortions given in elementary books and geographies and travels and in history. Having embraced or at least ascended to the falsehoods about himself, he concludes that his only hope is to be those things most unlike himself and most alien to his peculiar taste. He goes on to say that one of our great tragedies is that we have spent too much time feeding grist into other people's meals. Then he bemoans, nothing comes out except what has been put in, and that then is our great sorrow. What this man was telling us in 1884 is that we have to reclaim ourselves and our own heritage and the nature of our history. He would go on and he would be the teacher of Africans, and he was the mentor of some of the early black nationalists in Western Africa. And of course, he would write many books. He was the first person to use the word African personality. He wrote a work on African socialism in 1901. He was the first person to champion the unification of Africa during that period, especially West Africa. He entered into a famous debate between Sir Harry Johnson and himself over the religious destiny of Africa, Islam or Christianity. He was of the opinion that Islam would be better for Africa because it was more adaptable to prevailing African ways of life. Then he qualified this, and his qualification need to be looked at today. He said, if the African understood the dynamic qualities of indigenous African religions, he would need neither Christianity or Islam. That's more true today than it was then. Black people have a tendency to get hung up on outside inputs. Now, I am not conceding Islam to the Arabs, and I am not conceding Christianity to white people. I know that we nursed both of these religions in that cradle, and we played a major role in bringing not only this religion into being, but all known religions into being. Because the first salvation-oriented religions the world can trace came out of Africa. And all religions are salvation-oriented. So therefore, the very idea, the very germ, the very genesis of world religions came out of Africa. Now, I am not conceding Islam to the Arabs. I am conceding the Arabs' interpretation to him. I am conceding the Europeans' interpretation to Christianity to the European. Because once the European took over this religion for political reasons and began to use it as a political instrument and almost as a framework of his nationalism, Christianity died and Christendom was born. And there's a difference between Christianity and Christendom. Christendom is a political weapon. Christianity is a religious way of life. And for Christendom to come into being in order and to kill Christianity, then Christendom had to violate every rule that governs Christianity. Had to justify the slave trade, had to justify the monstrosity of the colonial system. It had to justify the demeaning of people. It had to rewrite the history of the world, glorifying Europe at the expense of other people. This is Christendom. And Christendom is forming a task that is anti-Christianity. Now, when this baby called Christianity left its cradle in North Africa and in the Middle East and went over to Europe and was used for political reasons, it was no longer our baby. And when they bring him home and sell him to us, they're selling us something which is alien in its present interpretation to our context. Because if they understood, and this is what Blyden was trying to get across, when you understand indigenous African religions and the binding nature of that religion, you will understand that these religions are basically Christian religions, and that there is nothing in Christianity, in moral law, that isn't already in those indigenous African religions.
And I know it's true because it's my culture. That's why I was saying the Bible is stolen from black people, because all those rules, law in the Bible are Maroon law. Yes, are laws of the Maroons who were never on the plantation. That's what I mean. I don't mean whitewashed Maroons of maybe today or whatever. I don't mean city Maroon or whatever. That's why I was saying even the notion of Jesus, Yesu, is yeah. I'm gonna leave it here for now, and if you wanna see this movie of Dr. Clarke, you can see it here. Where is it, man? Watch it. Afro-Marxist. You can go here and watch it. Afro-Marxist, Black History and Afrocentric View by John Henrik Clarke, 1973. I'm gonna leave it here. I was gonna do more movies like I had this one, Kwame Toure, Debates, Zionist. I even had this. You don't know, this is the... Go and read this. If you wanna know about Israel and Suriname, go and read this. You will see that on Shabbat, black people had free day because Jerusalem was in Suriname in those days. They came there in 1684, I think. These Dutch and German people who say they are, yeah. So I'm gonna leave it there for now, and yeah, man, maybe tomorrow I'll do another part of these videos, or kind of style or whatever. I don't know yet. I'll check it, man. But I've already shown you what this video was about. Is you've seen it? They've been changing black people stuff forever. That's why when the so-called Israelites come and say, yeah, Judites are black, Israelites are black, people will say, oh, how is it possible? Because y'all have been changing black people's name forever. From Negro to Afro to Ethiopian to Moor to Egyptian, every name in the book, man. Black. All these names they have in North America are in the Caribbean and Suriname. Yes, Neger. Negro in North America is Neger in Suriname is the Dutch word. Yeah, more is science than more are here in Spain. They turned white now. All those Moors are now white, just like the Jews became white. That's the same way Moors became white. Just like hip hop became white under Eminem, and reggae became white under UB40. Yeah. If you can't get it, I understand you can't get it. But maybe it's also cowardly behavior and you don't want to lose your job. That's why many of y'all don't speak out. It's not that many of these people don't know these stories. They know it, but they are cowardly made. Yes. That was the reason they were staying on the plantation also. Those runaway plantation Negroes, they had the balls to run away. Because they were like, man, I won't take this. I'm leaving this place, man. And you would have, just like today, just like Malcolm X was saying, Negroes are still out here in the Netherlands and Suriname is approaching people like me to say, we need to live like them. But you said they killed your people. If you want to live like them, you are just like them. Maybe you're going to kill my people. Because it's the same habit. Old habits never die, like they say. And they want to say, black people are thieves, but you stole their land, you stole their gold, you raped their women, killed babies, fed babies to alligators and all that. They say for 400 years, I know it's 1200 years, starting from Black Pete, Spain, blackface. Santa Claus. Yeah, nigga. Just saying. And nigga, Nikeri is in Suriname. Before anybody comes, why are you saying nigga? Nigga is Nikeri. Just like Nigeria, Nikeri is in Suriname. If you didn't know, it means black. That's why the Santa Claus name is Old Nick. Knickerbocker is a soccer club in the Netherlands. The Knickerbocker. The Old Saint Nigger. Saint Nick's name is Black Pete's appearance. The appearance of Black Pete is the name of Santa Claus. His name is Nick. And Black Pete is a Nick. Just saying. I'm gonna leave it at that. I've shown you many things for today. You've seen these people going crazy, just making up stuff, saying they are. This is Druids. I've shown you this yesterday. These are the magicians of the European people. This is their God. This is their Jesus. That's why I showed you yesterday. That's why you have Moses drawn like these people. If you watch this guy, you will see it's the same guys like in Harry Potter. They are drawn in the Bible the same way because it's their image, it's their God. And I'm not debating if Jesus is white or black. In my culture, a black man could have an Indian spirit. And I don't mean their real spirit, a guardian. When I say spirit, in my culture, when they say spirit, they mean guardian. They don't mean the spirit like me speaking now. They mean your possession, your protector. And they only look like that because the Most High know why he does it. But a black person could manifest any spirit, Chinese spirit. There is people, Maroons, who will manifest and speak and tree. Yeah, the language I was saying yesterday, and like the Cromanti language is tree from Ghana, because I said Swahili. Swahili is also one of the languages because the powers, the forces of the Maroons and Africans will manifest and speak old languages. Real, not fake speaking. That is called speaking in tongue. But it's understandable. Speaking in tongue is speaking multiple languages. Tongue simply means language. The word tongue simply means language. If you didn't know, now you know. In my culture, they say, so to tongo yetaki. Which tongue do you talk? Which tongue do you speak? You see? Taki is speak, to talk. In Surinamese patois. What the man attack, man? That is Jamaica. See? Saya Taki man is Surinamese. Yeah, that's why let's leave it at that, man. I have to recognize and understand that many of y'all are willingly lost. Many black people are willingly lost because they think they can gain something out there. Just don't come and approach me like you're fighting for my cause. Because the killer of my people can never fight together with me against who? You are the killer. Children of the killer will come and approach me. Yeah, we will fight oppression together. But you are the children of the oppressors. Start giving back the land and the money you stole from me. And then we might talk. And I said might. Killing innocent people in my culture, there is no forgiveness for that. Just saying, that means you curse forever. All these so-called things in the Bible. 4,700, that's my culture. 400 to 700 years because that's maroon culture. Real maroon. If you kill someone, the Maroons will tell you that you are cursed forever, ever, as long as there is a sun and a moon coming up and down. You are cursed. That's why they want to change black people together with them. Let's come together. No, man. You are a murderer. Talk to the Most High God of my people. Because I don't know what y'all mean when you say God. Your God might be your wife. Your God might be a tree on your backyard or whatever. Just saying. Don't come out here acting like we all human and we all the same human. Hue means color. Black people are not perceived as being human. That's why in Suriname, black people are not allowed to own their own land. And they were not even in slavery. I mean, we are autonomous, but we are not recognized as being human. In Suriname, Maroons are not recognized as human. That's why Africans are not allowed to print their own money because they are not considered to be human for the other races. I don't know if black people are stupid, man. You are not considered to be human. All the other races consider you to be an endangerment to them. If a black man sleeps with one of their women, their child will become black. Do you understand? If a black man sleeps with any other nation, those children will be black. Just saying. That's called dominancy. Domini, home, Osu. That's why I was showing you Osu. That's why you have Aswat. Aswat means black. Jaswat. And I mean that in the bodily sense. Because a spirit, you can go and say, even if Jesus would be supposedly white, these people are not white, they are pink. You see? The Caucasian is pink, they are not white. Black people are not black. There are some people who look black, who are really black, but most of the people are brown or a shade of black. And black is Blake, black, and Blake is white. Go look it up. B-L-E-E-K, bleak. That's why you have in English bleak. It's gone. It went bleak, man. It's gone. It's invisible, and that's called blank. He's shooting blank, and in Dutch, blank is the name of the Caucasian. Blanke, which means nothing. Blank means nothing. That's why you have in African musungu. That's why you have sungu means sink, to sink. Ondergedompeld, invisible. That's why in Japan or China they say gaijin. Jin is a spirit, invisible. That's why many people will say, yeah, if Jesus is a spirit, then Jesus is supposedly be right. And to me, it doesn't make any difference really. It makes a difference because Caucasians are using it to oppress black people. That's why black people are now coming out saying, nigga, his feet was black. So even if his spirit was white, he was perceived as a black man. That argument you could make. Because Jesus was walking in North Africa somewhere in the sun without sunblock. He would have gotten melanoma, skin cancer, just like y'all getting right now. So-called children of God, whose DNA doesn't compare with that of the book. It's all lies, but y'all already knew that. That's why black people were not allowed to read, so they could come and steal and change everything up and come and act like you are a child when they are the ones stealing everything. If you had intelligence, you would not have used black people on plantations. You would have done it by yourself. You would have created machines back then because you had intelligence. But since you did not, you stole all the technical skills of the Native Americans and the black people because they were the one planting on plantation in Africa and South America. In Europe, there are no plantation. There is no pyramid in Europe. Where in Europe can you show me a pyramid? Just saying. Yeah. When this Caucasian will tell, we built yeah, no, if you built anything in Africa, if you built the pyramids in North Africa, why didn't you build one in Europe? The only places where you have pyramid is Africa and America, South America. I know, for example, India in the bushes. No, not yeah. India also is similar with Angkor Wat, Cambodia, and all those things. So they have similar art. China, there is and pyramids under the sea or water level in China and Japan and all those places. Europe, these European are the only one who have no pyramid or whatever history in life. All their history is stolen from black people. That's why they had to make Egypt fight. When they went to Egypt, just like they went to America, stole everything and saying they are the American, they are the South African, they are the Australian, they are the New Zealander, they are everything. They are the Canadians. Are they the Canadian? No, that's the Native Americans, they say. So they lie on a daily basis. It's their nature, I would say. Nigga, let's leave it at that. Fair use video review. I've already shown you many times. Let's see if I see one of my alphabet here. Yeah, this is Afaka script. This is for when they come and tell you black people have no script. This is Afaka script of Maroons in Suriname, black people in Suriname. You know, this is their script, the only script of black people in the Western Hemisphere, so the Caucasians say. This is given by the gods of my people. The gods, they say, was lost, the so-called lost tribe. My people have Jusama. Judites are in Suriname in my tribe. We have Tualufulo. Tualufulo means 12th tribe. We have 6 tribe. We have 6 tribes among us, and our god system is called Tualufulo, the 12th tribe. That's why we got a god called Atwalufugadufu Saisina na Kija Mani Kija Amponu. Kija Amani Kija Amponu. Ampong is the umpongo, they will say in the Caribbean. You see, I've already found my people in Caribbean by the name of my god. Because the Caribbean from Curaçao and Cuba, they will say umpongo. And the Jamaican will say nyakukpong or kreyampong. This is even in Ghana, Benin, before Ivory Coast, and Mayombe. The best way to describe those people, all of them collectively taken to Suriname, South America, North America, is Mayombe Peninsula. Close to Mayombe is part of Angola, Congo, Nigeria, and where the Maasai are, even part of it is Mayombe. It's a big, large, I would say like Amazon area in Africa. It's called Mayombe. Even in Suriname, you got Mayombe. That's how I came to know about Mayombe in Africa, because I was telling an African like, yeah, we have a god called Mayombe. And he said, a god called Mayombe? Mayombe is a place in Africa. I was like, what? No, man, it's a god name. It's the name of one of the gods. And he said, no, it's a place in Africa called Mayombe. But to my people, the Maroons in Suriname, Mayombe is a god. Because when we know that because when a power will manifest on a maroon or a black person, they will say all those places where they from. That's how we know it. They will name places maybe in Ghana or North Africa, of America, wherever they come from. If they come from the river, they will tell you that. If they don't do that, it's not a good spirit. That's why when there is manifestation of spirits in my culture, there has to be 3 witnesses at least to translate what the spirit is saying, to look if it's a good spirit or not, just like in your Bible. And my people don't know no Caucasian. No, we didn't run away from no plantation. That's a Caucasian story. Some black people ran away from the plantation because they were stolen from the jungles in Suriname and America. They were captured in the jungles and brought to the plantation, and they ran away back into the jungle. Yes. Many of those so-called Maroons are POWs who are fighting war against the British Empire along the coast of West Africa and America. If you didn't know, go look it up. A maroon also means stranded. That's why I speak, when I say I don't speak Connolly, it's in dimensional. It's a color maroon, loca, like I was showing the color palette. Like maroon is brown, from brown to red to orange to everything. And then on the other side it will become black, and the other side it will become white. As above, so below. All your checkerboard, so-called, and Freemason stuff is foolish talk. Your Freemason talk that the checkerboard is something evil is foolishness talk. You know nothing. That's how I have to speak these days, man. Otherwise, you'll get the foolery of these niggas going to university or wherever they went and come back to me. I have 6 diplomas. I'm from the academy, and I still speak like this because I've seen what I've seen. These things I'm saying are things I've been discussing with these people on university level. It's not something I think. No, it's what I know. It's my real culture. My culture was never lost. That my tribes, my 12 tribes or 10 tribes were never lost. There are Judah people in Jamaica. There is Judah people in North America. There's Judah people in Suriname. Even Jusama, Jew tribe is in Suriname. Yeah, just saying. And this is my language, Afaka, my alphabet of my people, black people, just like I said. Yeah, so you can see this is it. This is my alphabet. Black people last alphabet in the Western Hemisphere. Our God brought this. My God, and when I say my God, the so-called lost culture of the black Americans and all those stuff is my culture. All this so-called lost culture, yeah, that culture is lost, man. Those people are lost. The Israelites is foolishness. They are in Suriname, man. Some of them are in Jamaica. If you go to the Adentra, you will see the same style writings. If you go to the Ewe, you will see the same style writings. Just like this. And it even looks like that of this so-called Hebrew language. It looks like it a bit, but my people, let's leave it at that. Let me not come here and explain anything before these Caucasians go out there and start stealing more stuff of my people, saying it's theirs. Because these people will take your underwear and wear it and still say it's theirs, even if it's a dirty underwear. Just leave it at that for now. And so when you've seen it, man, and big old girl, 20 years old, is saying she's 5 years old, you're not allowed to complain about Sodom and Gomorrah and all those stuff. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I've been speaking for almost 3 hours now, so I'm gonna leave it at that, and maybe tomorrow or the day after that, I'm gonna bring another video. I'm not showing you anything you should believe or not believe. It's not what I'm showing you is not for you to believe or not to believe. I'm just showing you what's out there. I know my culture. I know where I come from. I know all those stuff. There is no lost culture really. Because there are Maroons. That's why they trying to destroy the last Maroons in South America. They try to destroy them and change their name to Afro. Just like I showed you in the video. My people are the only people who still have their own name. Like Samaka, Okanisi, and all those names. And the places we live like Tamaling, like Tamare, what they say Egypt, Tamare. Tamaling is in Suriname, is a Maroon village. Yes, Juman country is a Maroon village in Suriname. The Juman country, Jumakondre is country. In Suriname, yes. Mauro Keng, nigga, I'm from Mauroni. Keng is man. That's why you have Maliman, Malema is Malikang, is Malikang. That's why you have King Keng Musa. Even your Moses is Tata Musu. Some will say and Da Musasi. See? Your other god, so-called, is Tata Yesukwami. I don't know your people, but I know these names, right? That's why I'm stating still so many times. I do not come from the plantation. Otherwise, that's these crazy Negroes and Caucasian style to steal stuff. Yeah, we was together on the plantation. No, I can show. They all know it's a lie also. Some came from the plantation. Their village is called Poligudu in Suriname. Not all black people were held by an Indian to escape anything. Some were held maybe because it was normal. Black people had babies with Indians, Native Americans in Suriname and all over America. That's why those so-called black Indians have curly hair. Because their father is black, is an Afro Kang, is an Afro man. Even an Afro black man with Afro in Asia is an Afro Kang, is an Afro man. Even if he's on the North Pole, he's a man with an Afro, is an Afro Kang. Kang simply is replaceable with Mang, like I stated in many videos already. So, I'm gonna leave it there and laters, man. Various video review, educational purpose. That's why I made this video also. So, people in Suriname, Belgium, South Africa, and even here in Holland, man. Many people don't know all this knowledge. All they know is what they've learned in school, man. Foolery. Indoctrination. Yeah, fair use video review. I'm gonna leave it at that.